Welcome to SaaS Reality, a podcast where two budding founders talk about their businesses. Join Simon and Dean to find out what it really takes to build, launch, and run a SaaS product. Morning, Dean.
Morning, Simon. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, how's it going? Did I miss much this week?
Not really, I don't think, in the world of the Twitter sphere or anything like that. I mean, I've seen you being online anyway.
Yeah, couldn't resist.
Yeah, it's been quite a good week for me, personally. How was your holiday?
It was really good. Yeah, it was nice to be away. I was wondering if on holiday I was going to be thinking about work a lot. When I got there, I just completely switched off.
Oh, that's good.
Even if I tried to think about ultimately, it just didn't happen. So it was a nice week where I didn't.
Yeah, human brain just said no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I just didn't get really a chance to sit on the computer. So I just didn't think about it, didn't do it.
That's when you know you need a holiday, when you can switch off like that. Yeah, I'm ready for it this time.
Yeah, I had to spend about 15 minutes on the computer sorting out something for Snapshooter, but my friend Jordan was looking after the business, so it was just something that only I could do, really. So other than that, he dealt with customers, so good week, really.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's always good when you've got a backup. That's the hardest thing about being solo, isn't it? Is what do you do on those downtimes where you need to be away from it for whatever reason.
Yeah, so he's pretty good and he's done it before, so generally knows. It's kind of mostly me just forwarding emails that I've received to him saying with like a quick note, and then he just sort of deals with it.
Yeah, the same guy looked after it while you went on honeymoon as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there was a complete catastrophe when I was away on holiday, so and he had to do actual code changes.
Oh no.
But as in he dealt with that absolutely fine, so.
Good. That's really good to have somebody like that.
Yeah.
You don't have much to report then this week?
Not really. I mean, I had someone inquire, someone who must have found ultimately through Stripe and was asking about, they want to send custom emails on invoice payments and whether we could do that. So I said, absolutely, we can add that in. It's not actually much work. It's only like an hour's work, really. And then that workflow would happen. So just sort of in the process of finding out whether they're ready to come on board or not.
This isn't actually a SaaS then. This is...
Yeah, that's kind of raised more questions than it answered when it raised more problems with the pricing. But yeah, maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit. What about yourself?
Yeah, good week. You know, last time I had a bit of a crisis over naming and...
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with hindsight, using Cloud Insights as a name is a great name. It says what it does, but it was very generic and it was bound to have been used elsewhere, to be honest. And I think that might be part of the reason why I was dragging my heels on the landing page. Just never really sure it was going to come to fruition, really. So, yeah, went on to NameStation, ran a name contest, got a name and a .com.
Yeah.
So we have Cloud Periscope now. And it has a landing page.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that feels good. I wasn't sure about the name at first.
Yeah. I was going to say, how many nouns are you going to go through? Or
There's another name, I can't remember what it was now, that was interesting. But the thing that got me onto Cloud Periscope really was the .com was available.
Yeah.
Even in this day and age, it's still a big thing to have the .com.
I found you some .coms after the podcast last week.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they're still in Slack. I don't know whether we should talk about those. I haven't got it.
Oh, no, not the joke ones. I thought I gave you a couple of good ones, but obviously not.
Let's see if I can find some of the joke ones.
Cloud Scrutinizer, that was it. That's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we ran the contest, got this Cloud Periscope. Wasn't that keen straight away, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Also had the advantage that it wasn't really in use anywhere. There is obviously the video service Periscope. I don't know whether that's died a death now, but that was Twitter, wasn't it, that had that? And there's a company, Periscope Data, but there's nothing trademarked in the US or the UK or Europe. So it just kept growing on me. I'm just thinking about what the service is actually going to do. It's going to peek inside your infrastructure.
Just imagine a picture of you now with a periscope nosing into people's accounts.
Yeah, it's okay. It kind of grew on me. So went with it.
I'm glad you got that sorted. So was that your whole week, or actually I saw that you'd set up a whole bunch of social accounts?
Yeah, I changed all the Twitter, got MailChimp renamed, built the landing page, bit of a tweak from the Cloud Doc one, agonized over color schemes. But yeah, I feel as I've got the landing page now, got the name, got the domain up, got the emails working. That's it. I can focus back on product. The day job has been absolutely manic for the last 6 weeks. We've had a big deadline to finish for a huge client. A couple of guys are out in South Africa at the moment for the next session of planning. So I've got 2 or 3 weeks at least where I'm going to have plenty of time for product. I've got a couple of weeks off from the day job in August, so there'll be some more time there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel I'm back on track again, which is feeling really good.
Yeah.
I really got to push hard and see if I can get a basic thing there for people to sign up to and try out.
So what's your plan next week then? Or this week as such?
Yeah, it's mainly going to be boilerplate. I've got a load of boilerplate, but it's all for the day job. So I'm having to create my own again. I looked at Laravel Spark, but there's a learning curve there, and I might as well just get my own boilerplate up and running. It'd take about the same amount of time. So
yeah, you worried me this week telling me that you might not use Stripe.
Yes, I have been thinking about Paddle and all the tax and VAT and invoice formats, but I think I might be just overthinking that for the moment.
I'm going to register ultimately for VAT soon. It's probably a good time to write, like, let's say, the definitive guide on how to use Stripe with Batmos and whatnot. Because there's always like a question that comes up.
Yeah, that'd be a great lead magnet for you, actually.
Yeah.
Rather than a blog post. I'm sure you get signups from that.
Yeah. It's a difficult thing to do, really. It does get complicated, especially around like billing pages and stuff when you're like, well, it really depends where you are for what this price is.
Yes. I'm really looking to try and focus purely on getting the thing out the door.
Yeah.
Having to worry about tax issues or invoice formats or things like that. I've not really dug deep enough into Stripe to see whether it's a problem. I think I'm just going to go Stripe to start off with because I'm already signed up. I've already got a verified account.
Yeah.
I've got bank accounts in place linked to the Stripe account, so I'll worry about it later, I think.
My accountant also gave me the same sort of advice. Now, obviously, and talk to your own accountant, but he was like, don't really sweat it until you actually got some income. Because you can always pay the tax on whatever what you owe, even if it comes out of your pocket, not their pocket, or, for example.
Yeah, well, that's it. So I think I just need to get going, try and get a couple of customers.
I'm in the same boat, really. I haven't got any customers, so
need to get those first 10.
Yeah,
cover all the costs and get some money coming in. Yeah, so I'm kind of been rethinking what the pricing is linked to as well.
Mm-hmm.
The competitors, which really aren't competitors because they do a lot more stuff like Cloudability and whatever, they all charge on a percentage of cloud bill.
Yeah.
And really the overhead for me is number of items scanned. So it doesn't matter whether you've got a massive EC2 server or a T2 Nano, it's the same work for me. So for the early days, I think I'm going to switch to pricing against objects scanned in the account.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense from my regard. If you've got a large EC2 server, but only have a few, it doesn't really going to take much management from your part, from like the account owner's part or your part, just scanning a few servers. Where if they've got hundreds of EC2 servers, that's getting to the point where it's like unmanageable.
Yeah, and that's where it affects my costs because I've got archive costs. There's data storage costs of keeping 12 to 36 months of data for them. And there's also the processing costs. So scanning an account or scanning somebody's infrastructure where they have multiple AWS accounts and tens of thousands of servers and auto-scaling groups and target groups and things like this.
Is that really where your cost center is? Because I would always say that, I'm just being a bit sort of naive here, but the data storage is not that expensive. It doesn't expense. How much data do you get out of scanning someone's account? You're not talking gigabytes a day, are you?
Could be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Over a period of a month, scanning a couple of times a day.
Is that because you're getting like CPU graph data and stuff like that, or?
No, I planned on keeping everything that came back from the API.
Yeah.
But dropping it into S3 in a table format. So I can use Athena if I need to query for them. And also DynamoDB just for speed. So it might be that I look to just cut out some of the metadata from the objects coming back from the AWS CLI just to reduce the amount of data I'm storing. And again, I want to save at least 12 months of data for people so they can look back and see how the infrastructure's evolved and where blips were and stuff. This is more linked to a future feature than anything else, future usage cases than the initial launch features.
Maybe need to get you to explain that S3 querying stuff.
S3 is basically it's a database, really. You can use something called Athena to run SQL-like queries against data in S3.
Do you have to store the data in like CSV format or whatever?
You don't have to, but it's more efficient if you do. So you can get your data, store it as in tabular format, so CSV files, if you like, and zip them up to even reduce the data storage even more. And Athena can still query against that.
Okay.
But you're charged on how much data you process per query.
Okay. Do you have to put it all in one CSV file, or can you have it in many and then do?
Oh, many, yeah.
Okay.
As you dig into AWS, you come to realize that S3 is the actual backbone for everything. So if you create an AMI, it's stored in S3.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is, S3 underpins everything. So it's really a key.
Okay, I definitely need to look at that because at work we store large amounts of social media data, which we don't often have to query, but every so often we do. And it's getting pretty stupid putting it in a MySQL database.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't need to have instant reporting.
We don't have instant reporting anyway, it takes too long.
Yeah.
So we have a background process that comes back and emails you and says, well, look, we're all finished.
Yeah, the only downside is that it is charged on the amount of data you have. So if you've got 50 gigabytes in a zip file and you run a query against that, then you will be charged for scanning 50 gigabytes. So
okay,
I'll point you to the right stuff.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that. I'm sure we could break the data into a way that means you're not having to scan the whole data set every time.
Yeah, it's really interesting technology. I've not actually used it other than in personal lab for learning stuff for these certifications. But
okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay. Well, still quite cheap though for storage, right?
Yeah. The thing will be, my main cost center will be spinning up stuff to do the scans of infrastructure.
Okay.
The storage costs are a predictable cost. So, yeah. A lot of organizations these days have multiple AWS accounts.
Yeah.
So they'll have one for the dev team or one for production, one for staging, rather than just doing separate VPCs and servers.
Yeah.
They actually split them down into accounts now. That's the new world way.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah. And then have like one AWS account to manage all the user permissions.
Yeah, then you have your parent organization, which all the billing goes through. So it just makes so much sense, keeps it really clean, reduces your attack surface, and makes total sense, really.
Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at and worrying about, the pricing.
Yeah, I've got to get my boilerplate done. I've got to get people being able to sign up and add accounts. They're the main features I'm working on at the moment. Then once I've got all that linked up with the UI and the boilerplate stuff, I'll start plugging in the back-end scan data and generating the pretty graphs and tables. But that won't be this week. But I feel as though I'm moving forward now. Feeling good about it all again. So that's good.
Yeah.
So what do you plan to do now that you're back and refreshed?
Well, last night I couldn't help myself, so I had a quick look at the Stripe payment intent stuff that I was having issues with before going on holiday, and it's still broken.
Oh dear.
So I've sent an email to Stripe now, which I should have done before, but I was just like going on the guy's word in IRC that it was being fixed. So that's kind of put the brakes on the hosted billing page, because I don't want to do it with the old charge method. It's like, I've got to learn how to use payment intent, and it's going to have to happen that way. So let's get it in there. And then just gone back to really focusing on landing page or the marketing site now, and sort of really expanding it all. So it's kind of a really boring job, but going through all the features, making dedicated pages for them, explaining how everything works, and then still trying to get that first customer.
Right.
I got people waiting on the billing page, which is a problem. But then I'm hoping this guy who came through the sales, who emailed, is interested, and I might just explore the track of maybe non-SaaS related businesses to see whether that's a good source of income or a good source of customers. Because maybe they're also in the boat of like maybe not technically able to do these emails how they want. Or, for example, you've got like WooCommerce set up and you want to send a follow-up email. I'm a bit of a pain. So just exploring that, which means the pricing is just wrong. Because I price on monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah.
And that excludes quite a lot of Stripe stuff.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I should just bill on email volume.
Possibly.
Set it at like double the email costs and then tier it like that. Or my other idea was to bill on the number of workflow executions you do.
Mm-hmm.
But then that might discourage someone you might end up putting all your logic in one execution to get around the billing costs.
Yeah, people could be quite creative, can't they?
Yeah. Well, instead of having it, let's say you want a follow-up email and then you have a referral reminder email, you could put them in the same workflow or you could separate them to make it easier to manage.
Mm.
So I don't know if it works by saying each month you get 500 workflow executions, but then I've also got to explain what the hell that is.
Mm.
Where I was just to say the starter plan, you get 10,000 emails.
Yeah, that might make sense and make it big enough to be not a worry for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because it is pennies on your side, isn't it? So
what they're sending of emails.
Yeah.
Pens postmark's not cheap.
Yeah.
I did do some basic maths to work out how many emails I could send and basically making sure that the margin was reasonably good.
Yeah. How are you going to know somebody's recurring revenue anyway? I suppose you've got access to their Stripe account, haven't you?
So we just go through and see there. I feel like the number of emails is a fairer way to do it as well. If you only want to do one thing and you don't want to use all of the workflows you could build and all of the features you could use, if you've got like a high MRR business,
mm-hmm.
you're into paying a lot more than you need to just because your monthly recurring revenue is higher, even if you were only to send 500 emails a month.
Mm.
So maybe that I need to look. See, my cost center is also around, so it's the emails and then it's the processing of webhooks.
Yeah.
So if you've got a busy account that don't send many emails, I still got to do quite a lot of webhook stuff because I need to basically keep a replica of your Stripe data within Ultimately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your basic plan cost will cover that though, won't it? So.
Yeah, I think that's what segregates me from the other people doing the similar thing in the market is that Ultimately keeps basically a carbon copy of your Stripe data. So you have all that data accessible when you're doing emails.
Mm-hmm.
Where these other providers, they don't seem to store that information. So you only get the data that's in the webhook.
Okay.
So that's my thinking. I might just remove the monthly recurring revenue part of the billing because I already had email limits. So I may just make that the feature.
It simplifies it an awful lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. And if we only send, 10 churn emails this month because you only have 10 churning customers, kind of seems a bit more fair.
Happy days.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I still have that $19 start price.
Yeah. Yeah. So as long as that covers everything.
Yeah. That'll cover quite a higher number of emails being sent.
Similar sort of thinking, again, going back to what I've been thinking about number of objects scanned in AWS, tying it to their cloud spend. It just kind of felt I was penalizing them for having to have a bigger infrastructure. Likewise with Automaily, it could be, are you penalizing them for doing better, for doing well, doing more revenue?
Yeah. And people come up with use cases that I haven't thought of. That's the advantage of Automaily in the workflow is you can build the use case you want.
Yeah.
It's just I hadn't thought of them. So I know someone who said when someone subscribes to a plan, they just want to send a couple of emails with some features about that plan.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to do anything else.
Right. Okay.
So it's well, okay, that's cool. Yeah, let's maybe explore this other start model that doesn't automatically value your account. Or if you only want to send an email when a Stripe customer is created, but you never set up subscriptions, you're going to be right in the bottom plan, always.
Mm.
So.
No, I kind of like that idea, actually, reducing the tie to MRR.
Yeah, and just making an email limit and then.
Base it on the value they're getting from it, not on how well their business is doing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, basically you can evaluate the number of emails they're sending is the value, and if they're sending more emails, it's probably because their business is doing better. So
as they grow, they will send more emails anyway. So
yeah, and I've got that marketing thing where you can send off a whole bunch of SES emails to segments of your customers. So
right,
basically, I'm just chucking mud at the wall, and then it's like kind of seeing what's going to be the first thing to stick. I'm going to just chase that. There's so many like different opportunities that this product can go. It may, for example, it might just turn into an email marketing tool for Stripe lists.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to see all the different use cases people are coming back with, isn't it?
Yeah, just makes it a nightmare to market. I think I'm just going to have like, I've got all the features, and then I'm just going to have like a use case examples, and it's just going to be different pages. Like, for example, this guy just wants us. People are going to be donating to a school through Stripe. I just need to check whether you can actually do that through Stripe. I'm not sure they like donations, but nonetheless. And then he wants to send a follow-up email with just extra information, like basically with the invoice. But you can't do that in Stripe. They just send an email, which is an invoice. So
they would have to send the invoice, and then you would trigger the follow-up.
Yeah. So you'll be able to turn off the Stripe invoice email and just send an automated one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. It's a very simple use case.
Yeah.
Don't know whether anyone else. Maybe there's nothing else out there to do that. That's a good lead. So
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, cool. Sounds like we've both got enough on our plate for the following week. Then.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, cool. We should probably wrap it up there. It's turned into a longer podcast, even though you haven't been here.
Yeah, it was that one little thing. I mean, that one email asking about that particular functionality.
Yeah.
Sends you off in a different direction, all sorts of thoughts and whatever.
Yeah, it really reminded me of Snapshoot in the beginning. Until you get those first customers, you really don't know what you're actually pitching and selling. When you start getting questions, and then you start solving these questions and you get customers, it's like the product evolves. And basically, like, for example, Snapshoot for the first 3 months, it was all customer-led development, like features, and I only added the ability to do multiple retention policies after a customer asked for it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's now one of the key features.
Customer driven development.
Well, basically, yeah.
CDD.
Or, yeah, error driven and mortgage driven are my favorite.
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll wrap it there and see what progress we can both make this coming week.
Cool. Well, thank you for listening to the SaaS Reality podcast. Why not head over to saasreality.com and be part of the Slack community where you can join in the discussions. You can send questions and comments to podcast@saasreality.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, we would really appreciate an honest rating and review. We'll catch you next week. Catch you later, Dean.
Bye, Simon.
Bye.